Virtual reality, can it be used for traditional art? It was a couple months ago where some Instagram reel was just really popping off showing this artist using VR to start a mural. I got DM'd that reel probably 25, 30 times, but something stuck in the back of my brain like that is pretty cool. I should try that out eventually. Well, that eventually is today. Also simultaneously, another YouTuber named The Good Chad reached out to me and shared his video using VR for his art, and that was very informative and gave me a basis of like how this technology actually works. I have, what is this, a Quest 2? I've had this for a while. I've used it probably 3 times, but for this video specifically, I went out and bought the Meta Quest 3S, which is the upgrade to this, and that's mostly because the pass-through cameras on this are in full color and they're much higher quality than this. Quick side note, I forgot to mention in that other recording, I'm not sponsored by the Meta Quest 3S or the apps that I'm gonna be using in this video. I paid for those with my own money. Nobody asked me to do this. I just wanted to try this out, so not sponsored. I mean, this video does have a sponsor, that's Squarespace, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, back to it. What I'd like to do is try and use VR to start a mural. We have a little wall over here, and I wanna see if it would work on a smaller canvas, like a painting. Could this eliminate the use of transfer paper? Could this eliminate the use of traditional grids, of doodle grids, of projectors, which have a whole host of problems, like having to use them at night, having to have enough distance from your wall? We're gonna find all that out today, and I'm gonna find out if I can implement VR into my traditional art process. Let's get started. Okay, first things first, I need to get the app onto the headset. So there's one app called Contour and another app called Stencil, and it seems like from my very brief research that Contour is a little bit more simple and Stencil has more options and features, especially for pinpoint scaling and rotating and nudging your art, and I think that sounds more interesting to me. There it is. It costs $9.99. Let's go ahead and buy that. There we go. My next step was to go to the Stencil VR website and upload my artwork. I clicked upload stencil, named my image, added my artwork, and clicked upload. All right, now that I've uploaded my art on the website, it has shown up inside of VR, which is very cool. All right, here we are at the wall. My art's like a million miles away, way over there. Come here. How do I, where's my menus? Hello? Oh, why is my menu way over there? Okay, surface detection. To place your stencil, point your right controller where you want to trace. Okay, there's still a floating instance of my art way over there in the distance, and I don't know what that is about. Confirm placement. Okay, I'd like to scale it. There we go. Let's drag this whoa. This menu's in my way. There we go. All right, that's kind of big. Okay, adjust. Wouldn't it be nice if scale and adjust were on the same screen? Let's adjust this guy down, okay. The footage you're watching is me using this app for the very, very first time, and I gotta say it was a little bit tricky for me to get my art placed exactly where I wanted it. Having the adjust on one tab, the rotate on another tab, the scale on a third tab was a little tricky. I wanted to use all 3 features simultaneously, but as I used the app more and more, I got used to this control interface and was able to get my art into position more quickly and more easily. That's pretty close. Now, here's the test that I really wanted to do. Let's say I've traced like half of this mural right here, and then something happens and I have to take the headset off. If I take this headset off right now, all this work I just did to line this up, is that gonna go away? Let's find out. The headset is off. Da-da-da-da. Let me do this, let me do that. Gotta go get my headset again. Okay, it went to sleep, and yeah, this is still locked in. That is amazing, because if it were to just like, oh, you put the headset off, everything goes away, that would be like a total deal breaker. Great, it's good to know I can take breaks. One last thing I want to check out. Can I decrease the opacity? Draw? Oh, that's what the draw tab is for. It's for decreasing my opacity. What's this, shading? Yo, that's actually kind of sick. It gets rid of the colors automatically. We're just gonna go ahead and reduce that. Okay, locked and loaded. There's my Posca. You have to kind of stand back a little bit, because like when you get close, it starts floating away from the wall. Whoa, I'm having a hard time with my depth perception on this. Can I increase my own body's opacity? My hands are like a ghost and I can't even really like see where my marker's at. I feel like a ghost right now. What if I close one eye? Nope, that didn't help. My ghost hand is such a trip. It's kind of hard for me to see the tip of my marker. Maybe it's the fact that this isn't just line art and it's got a color image. You really got to focus on that ghost hand. Whew. Those are some of the roughest trace lines I ever did. How's it look out there, Nick?
Is there supposed to be a bunch of like smaller lines inside of the glasses on that lens?
That's just me trying to like see. My eye is kind of getting used to it. It's crazy depth. You can't get too close to the wall or else everything shifts kind of crazy. But just after about 60 seconds of getting the vibes of what this is like, I feel like my brain has figured out what my eyes are seeing and it's like converting it into usable information for me, and I'm able to hold these lines a little bit better. But boy, those first like 30 seconds were a trip with my ghost hand and the ghost marker and the slightly shifting image. This does do a pretty good job of kind of locking that into place though. All right, I'm gonna keep practicing this, keep tracing this mural. I'll see you guys in a second. While I keep transferring my sketch onto this wall, I'm gonna let you know this video is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is a website where you can build a website. They make it super easy with their amazing templates where all you gotta do is drop your content into their beautiful templates and you got a website, baby. Plus, with new amazing features like Squarespace Payments, your online shop can accept payments right away and even allow for more payment options like ACH, Apple Pay, Klarna, Afterpay, and more. Plus, with invoicing, scheduling, design tools, subscription products, and more, you have everything you need to share your vision with the world. So go to squarespace.com to start your free trial. And then when you're ready to launch your site, go to squarespace.com/1000 for 10% off the first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks, Squarespace. Okay, after playing with that a little bit more, I got a much better feel for it. I'm getting really fast with that thing. I love how with a projector, my body is creating a shadow and blocking the image. But with the VR, there is no shadow. You don't have to put yourself into crazy positions to not block the image. Very nice, very speedy, awesome. The one thing I did want to try is spray paint. Can I wear a respirator while also wearing the headset? When you're spray painting, your distance from the wall is absolutely crucial on your line width. So is the depth perception gonna throw me off? Gotta try it to find out. Because when you do paint murals, a lot of times you don't have a perfectly flat wall like this. You have rough bricks, you have cinder blocks, you have all kinds of crazy surfaces, and spray paint goes great on almost anything, but markers and chalk and other tracing devices don't work on certain surfaces. Okay, respirator on. Yeah, it kind of works. Okay, that's not too bad. My audio is gonna be kind of muffled. It sounds like I'm talking through a fan. Do you hear that? It's chopping my voice up, making me sound like a robot. Okay, the wall is there. That's not too hard. All right, not too bad, not too bad. How's that look?
It certainly looks better than the first two circles you tried to draw.
Yeah, I thought spray paint was gonna be way harder than this.
It honestly looks like it's easier for you than the marker.
Interesting. Okay, I would say the spray paint actually works way better than I expected. Sweet, 2 for 2. Seems great so far. Okay, another test that I wanted to do is can I trace onto a canvas much smaller than that mural wall? Now, I'm guessing I don't want this to move around while I'm tracing because I don't know if this could track a moving object. So I'm gonna just like kind of jankily tape this to my table a little bit to try and not move it while I'm working. Okay, VR time. Back in the world of VR. Let's open up Stencil VR. Let's go to my library. Okay, I have this cactus watcher here, and I guess this is gonna be the thing. Okay, this is interesting. You know, the mural was straight vertical, and this, from my eyes perspective, like it's tabletop, so it's kind of a 45-degree angle here. All right, let's rotate this a little bit. Let's see if I can get a little bit better at using these movement features.
Now the depth is something that's always a little bit weird. There we go. Move this a little bit. What I wouldn't do for like a skew feature. Decrease that. You gotta futz with these controls and keep bouncing back and forth, but I am starting to get a little bit more of a hang of it. Very minutely rotate that. Ooh, okay. I think that's looking good. So let's see how this feels. One thing is, you kind of want to keep a decent distance from the actual surface so that it doesn't start doing all this weird optical illusion like stretching and skewing thing. All right. Yeah, this works. Honestly, not mad at this at all. Pencil works good. Definitely getting more used to my ghost hand, getting more used to just keeping my distance away from the art, not leaning in too close to try and like look closer or whatever. The one thing is, when I use transfer paper, I'm using like a colored ink on my page, and it's pretty easy to tell where I've already been. I guess I could reduce the opacity. Like if I want to see where I've gone, I would just drop the opacity down. Okay, cool. Bring it up, bring it down. Yeah, I could even just leave this a lot lower. Something around 39%. Now it's a little bit easier for me to see where I've gone, and the ghost hand isn't quite as intense. So I suppose that's the ticket, is really reducing that opacity. The prep work on this is way quicker than transfer paper. With transfer paper, I have to prep my sketch. I have to make sure that it has enough contrast. Then I have to bring it as a PDF into Adobe Acrobat, print it out with the poster setting turned on, go to my printer, make sure I have the right amount of paper in there, print it out, cut it up, tape it together, lay down the transfer paper, tape that down, lay down my concept sketch, make sure it's straight, tape that down. Then I have to trace the whole thing with a ballpoint pen, and finally my concept art is transferred on there. With this, I just get my PNG in there, throw on the goggles, get it in place, and we're off and running. Wow. Is that it? I think that's all she wrote. Nice. Nice, son.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now, I will say if I was using transfer paper, my sketch would be a little bit more pristine, but it all gets covered up with paint anyway. This is a bit more loosey-goosey than what it usually looks like when I do a little transfer. But there ain't no problem with that, because all we're trying to do is get our rough shape onto the canvas. Yo, so far, VR might be in my workflow. Might be in my workflow from now on. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, there is one more test I wanted to do, which is kind of like how big could this go? So let's say I wanted to paint a mural on this entire back wall right here. Whoa. That's very small over there. I guess I gotta get closer to edit it. Here's my question. How big can we go with this bad mamma jamma? Okay. It is getting pretty freaking big. I think in the middle, this is like, what, 17 feet tall or something like that? This isn't the right dimensions for this wall, obviously. But I would say that that is about 15 to 17 feet tall and maybe 25 or 30 feet wide, which is pretty sizable. Now, if I go over here and pretend that I am painting a mural and I'm real close up here, oh, you moved too far away. Okay. Get.
Bruh.
Okay, so if I'm here painting and I'm over here, oh, that's floating away from the wall a decent amount. Probably because this is the garage door and it's sticking out farther than the wall. So that would be a bit tricksy on walls that are not perfectly flat, but I can still make that work. Yeah, imagine I'm over here painting a mural. Okay, cool. The other thing is, I would have to make sure I don't smash my hand into that inside of VR. That's cool. Everything is staying in place really well, even at this large scale. And it didn't seem like I hit the limit of like how big I could make this thing. So, dude, does it have a downside? I don't know.
So VR, this is my first time using this. I kind of had to work out the kinks a little bit, but ultimately, I think this is a really solid choice for getting my art onto the surface that I'm trying to paint. Now, I'm sure on this video, in fact, I pretty much 100% guarantee it, there's gonna be some comments saying like, that's cheating, or you're not a real artist if you have to use VR to do this kind of thing. You're entitled to that opinion, but you know, if this is cheating, then do you think a projector is cheating? And if you think a projector character is cheating, then do you think transfer paper is cheating? And if you think that's cheating, then do you think using tape or a ruler to make a straight line is cheating? And you can keep following that logic back. Is it cheating to even make a concept sketch? Shouldn't you just be able to paint it perfectly straight from your head every single time? Where you draw the line is completely up to you, and I say use whatever tools you got to be able to express your creative vision with the world. So what do you think? Would you try something like this and put it into your workflow? If you have used Stencil VR and you know some features that I didn't touch on in this video, let me know down in the comments. This was kind of like my first look, my first try at using VR, and I'm sure there's a couple of cool tips or tools or tricks or hacks that I don't even know about yet. But let's see, is there anything else I forgot to mention?
Puzzles.
Oh, the new puzzles. Can you throw me those? Oh, cha! My new puzzles just dropped. This is the pink and green double-sided puzzle. This is the blue and yellow double-sided puzzle, part of my single color series. Satin soft touch pieces, really premium quality packaging here. And the Last Supper puzzle is back in stock. These puzzles are on my website right now, 10hun.shop. If you buy 2 puzzles at a time, it's 10% off. If you buy all 3 at a time, it's 15% off. Get those at 10hun.shop. All right, thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you're gonna try putting VR into your art workflow. I'm 1000. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. VR artwork. VR artwork.